as things go with an unveiling, sometimes things go wrong, and
Little bumps in the road.
there's a little bump in the road.
Yeah.
There's a little bump in the road. But, everybody should go to welcometovenus.com, and I swear you will have an easier experience getting to our new app and platform,
They were
Venus Community. They
they
promise
were
you.
actually asking about you.
Who was asking about me?
They actually want to know about you. What it is that it is about you.
besides that I'm a Luddite, that
Yes.
I'm like, that I'm, well, they dragged me out from the ancient past of that I was the host of In the Life 30 years ago, the first LGBTQ news magazine on PBS. It was the only thing out there for us to watch. That's right. That's where I came from. That's where I crawled out from under at 24. But I'm not here to talk about me, Kelsi. We are here to talk about you.
Okay.
You
Do it.
have 557,000 followers on Instagram. What did you say today? Over 1 million followers on Facebook, and what was that? 9 million followers on TikTok?
1.8. Yeah.
1.8.
Yeah.
Oh, was I
I know.
overblown?
Yeah, it's
All right.
a little much.
Yeah,
I'm not there yet.
was I over the
A
top?
little over the top.
What does that feel like?
What?
I what does it feel like to have so many people following you?
Um, I don't know. I put my pants on the same as everyone else, and I don't think of followers or anything like that. I just am grateful for the experience, I guess.
Is it? But it's funny because do you feel it? Because it's like it's so there's all these people following you, and it's numbers, and you get questions, and but every day you're posting, so it's not like you're in a stadium where you see all these people.
Yeah.
So
I I think by me posting the content that I post, it allows people to like those were actually my engines getting revved up for you.
wow,
So just wanted to let you know that.
wow, I feel that's really
Yeah, like I'm feeling it right now. So
me too. Me too.
no, I think that I don't feel famous because we're not famous. I don't think anybody that makes content like from their house should be categorized in a famous category or be on pedestals. I just got lucky. I respond the way that I do on my content because I want to show people that we're all human beings and we have to make light out of all situations, no matter the negative, because life's too short to not, live in a positive. So I don't think of famous. Following is not really my thing. I don't really look at my numbers and um I post and then I get off and live my life like everybody else.
When did you? So you said, when did you start? You said you were at COVID.
During COVID. Yeah. I started doing skits on Snapchat. I would do like filters, and I would do makeup tutorials on Facebook Live back in the day, buffet. That's a true story. And I would do these Snapchat filters. Go ahead.
You did makeup tutorials.
Oh yeah. Funny makeup tutorials. I'd use my fingers in gay ways. Yeah. And because I really love to entertain.
Uh-huh.
It's in my I've been doing this since I was a child, like entertaining purpose, like fun, humor. And then I started doing it on Snapchat before COVID, before like TikTok. And then I got on TikTok during COVID because I was bored. I had a metaphysical business and it shut down because it wasn't essential. And started doing social media until we could get back up and running for my crystal business.
And like, when did you? So you started doing social media. A couple people followed you. Like what? Like when did it start? When did you start realizing that more people were following you and more people like? How did you know that what you were doing was actually clicking with people?
I made a video. Someone had responded to me and they asked me either they commented and they were like, just pick already. Pick if you're a boy or a girl. And I'm from a small country town of like a population of 2,000 people. And I've always been a tomboy, always dressed like this. So I responded to it. That was the first time I ever responded to a comment. And when I did that, I had the singer Sia and Rosie O'Donnell and Jelly Roll and Bunny and Jay Watt, like all these celebrities started following me and sharing. And then that video went viral. And then I ended up with like a couple 100,000 people overnight. And then I just kept doing that. And then Rosie and I went back and forth for a while and did a couple of videos, and she would stitch me. And it just got like this over time.
From that
That
one
one
video, that because that,
video, yes.
wow.
Yep. It was crazy. And I didn't expect it.
I mean, look, I think the most common thing, like Megan said it, who popped on earlier, in place of me as I was unable to join you, that I mean, I think that this is what people keep telling you, that you know you're the most one of the most authentic, and raw and unfiltered voices out there, which is one of the most refreshing things in this incredibly filtered
Yeah.
world. Right?
I don't like it.
I was actually filtered, right?
Yeah, was
Like,
that filtered?
no, I don't think I am filtered, and I
No,
wish I
you're
was.
weird.
You know,
Guys, don't let her fool you. We've been having some raw conversations when we were doing like the back setting of all this. Yeah,
yeah,
it was
yeah,
raw.
it was raw. Was
Yeah,
it like, oh, yeah,
it was
raw?
good. Yeah, you
Yeah,
pulled me right in.
yeah, yeah. So it's that, right? So I think that and when you started, I mean, obviously you answered this one comment. Are you flirting with me,
Well,
Kelsey?
someone said I was, yes, I was flirting with you. Someone said blink twice if you see my comment. So I was like,
Oh,
okay.
God, that was
Well,
freaky.
it wasn't a shot. It was fireworks. In case you're wondering why I was a little panicked there. It wasn't a shot. It was fireworks.
Okay.
I'm okay. All right, we're back. Sorry.
Hey, it was the
I'm
South.
t- I'm a, I'm a timid person. So
Yeah, no, I know. I didn't know if you were looking at me or that. Now I know it was one of the
yeah,
people commenting.
yeah, we're good.
I was,
Good.
yeah, it was getting a little freaky there.
Yeah, I'm
Um,
sorry.
so how do you decide what you're like? People ask you questions, right?
Yes.
They give you questions. How do you pick? Like, how do you know? How do you pick what you're going to answer?
I so my fiance and I will go through the comments, and sometimes it's just me, sometimes it's her, sometimes both of us. And when we go through, do you ever read something and you're like, even if it's a negative, I take trolls in a way that if they're taking the time to say something negative to me, and it's pretty good, very thought out, like very thought, and I'm like, oh, that was you tried with that one. So if it makes me hit my feel goods in a sense of like, oh, that was good. I see what you did there. You tried to get me, try to be mean. I respond to it. Or if it's a comment that's like it'll sex, a lot of straight women hit on me. So if it's in like a sexy way, and I'll read it and it's like, I'm a straight woman and you make me want to switch sides, I'll be like, oh, that was good. I'm going to do that. Doesn't matter what the feel is, but if I get the feel, I'm responding to it. Yeah.
I was going to ask you, do you get a lot? So you get a lot of positive, and you've got a lot of shit ton of
Yeah.
fans,
Yeah.
but you get a lot of
Oh
hate
my
or hate.
gosh. Yeah. Absolutely. And it's mostly for men. That's why I'm trying to change it because how I grew up is I have always been gay, but we never talked about it in my area. If you talked about it, you got bullied or you got beat up. Like there was no ifs, ands, or buts about it. So I grew up in a time where you would probably understand you keep it behind closed doors. And so that's what I was kind of used to. So as I grew up, I'd always tell people, you may not agree with what I choose to do, but you will love me for me. So I will banter with males, females. I will hit on men. Like I don't, just because I am a lesbian does not mean I don't find your husband attractive. Like I'm going to compliment him too. So, I get hate on by men. So I'm trying to like, not, I'm trying to bring them to my yard a little bit so they stop hating on us because I can't stand it because we can all like get along and hang out and shoot the crap and not have this animosity just because I'm a lesbian. Like let's throw the lesbian card out and like let's me and you talk like Kelsey and Bob. Let's talk, you know? So that's what I'm trying to do because sometimes when I first got on it ate me alive. I went on Facebook and I had a video go viral, like viral, and I was like, let me just read the comments. And it was Facebook pages from husbands that had children, and I could see their wives and their occupation, and they would say very nasty words to me, and I cried for days. I cried for days. I'm like, that's terrible. Like, I can see your personal life and you're that nasty of a human being. So like now I'm like, I'm trying to switch it up and like change the roles up a little bit in like a positive way.
How?
So,
Like how?
so a lot of men will comment on my stuff and say something nasty, and I respond in a positive because in my mind, I feel there's a reason why they're being nasty. Maybe they're not educated or they're not exposed to, it's a lot of the older generation. So I just educate them in a positive way. Like, you may not agree with my lifestyle, and that's okay. I respect everyone's beliefs, but you'll love me. So like now I'll flirt with you. Like, let's go out to dinner. So I'll respond to their nasty, or even some men will be like, I want to climb you like a tree. And I'll comment and be like, let's go. Let's go right now. You want to, I'm 6'5". You better bring your hiking boots. And then my fiance gets in, and then she then banters with them too. And then they're like, do I like this? And I'm like, you like this. Like, stop the hate. You like this. You know, we can all be friends and it
Yeah.
not be about sexual orientation. Like, so that's what I'm trying to do. I think it's doing well so far.
But and that's just I think that the more you come back to people with this kind of, you have such an innate joy in you and life that I think it's so disarming. It's
Yes.
disarmed with like come on, okay, let's talk about it. Let's
Yeah.
talk.
Ask me the questions.
It's disarming. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Ask questions.
I don't have
Tell
like
me.
a toxic energy about me. So like if you're curious and you're a man or a woman, like instead of hating, just ask. Like, for example, I'm checking into, we have like a trip planned for tomorrow. I'm not going to disclose it, but we have a trip planned, and I'm checking into where we're staying, and the guy's talking to me, and I flirted with him. I flirted the entire time. And then I looked at him and I was like, I'm so sorry. And he's like, why are you apologizing? I was like, I know that I'm a lesbian, but like I love bantering with men. And he was like, I love it. And then he gave me a better room because we had a great exchange of conversation. So like I'm not here to take your wives or anything. Like, let's just all hang out. So
Um, you you said you cried for days, but it does hurt. It does
oh my
hurt.
gosh, yeah. I'm sensitive.
What was I asked you this earlier to think about, what was the most shocking question you've ever been asked?
I think the most shocking, it's not even a question, it's the responses that I get is constantly being told to go not be here anymore. So have I've already tried in my dark days of life of not feeling welcome and not feeling wanted by like my family, and like I have a lot of issues with not being loved and welcome. And at my darkest days, I tried to not be here. So for people to come online without realizing just what someone's going through because they post content, that is probably the most shocking, is the vulgar things that they say about other human beings. And then people wonder why people are afraid to post, because I couldn't handle it. And I could only imagine someone, I'm a pretty strong willed person now. Kelsi 15 years ago would have taken that and run with it. So now it makes me cry and feel sad, but someone may not respond the way that I do.
Right.
So that has to be the most shocking, is people physically getting on their personal Facebook accounts and telling other individuals because they don't agree with their lifestyle or their content choice to not be here anymore. It's probably the most shocking.
So I wanted to get to that because before you were big and sexy,
Yeah,
you must have been little and cute.
I was.
You were
I was
little and cute.
little and cute.
You touched on this. Where did you grow up? And tell me a little bit about your family.
So I grew up in a very small town in Pennsylvania, and we went cow tipping on Tuesdays and corning on Thursdays.
Okay.
And it was a very one-sided town of nothing other than Caucasian anything, just the very plain Jane town. And I knew that I was gay, but I couldn't come out as gay because if you were, you would get beat and duct tape. This really happened. True story. Duct tape to a tree, and they would beat you. So like,
If you came out as gay, they would beat and duct tape you.
correct. It happened to a little boy. He was in like 11th grade, I think. and they actually did this to him. So there was a very nasty area.
Wow.
So like I never came out until I was a little older in life, and it just it wasn't right. I left when I was 17.
Okay, so before, yeah. So when
I know.
that's like, I'm still like getting over that. Because I mean, I'm older than you, and it was not accepted.
Yes, this
But
town is still not very accepting.
yeah,
It's gotten better, but it's still not there.
this is just a reminder to everybody that still now
Yes,
there are where this is still true. Um, but when you so before 17, so you were, when did you first like feel or know that you were going to be a future muff diver? Like, when did you first feel like, you know, you had those feelings?
I
How
knew
old?
in like elementary school. So,
Elementary school.
yeah, so like I knew at a young age that I didn't want to chase the boys around the playground. But back then we didn't have social media to help us understand who we are. Like kids nowadays have the luxury of finding out early on
Right.
who they are. My age, it was, I didn't know, and then I had to shelter it, and I didn't have anyone around me that was a lesbian or gay or anything like that. And then it wasn't until I think middle school I realized that I was a little different because I didn't want a boyfriend or anything like that. And then high school, I was like 14, 15, when my family tried to out me to my like people that raised me, my grandmother and my mother, because we had AOL chat room back then, and I had a relationship via online because we had remember the chat rooms with the webcams back in the day.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
yeah, that's where I found my first girlfriend, and
Really?
it ended up being a catfish.
Oh
Was not a woman.
no.
So like the definition of catfish was like a thing. So I had a girlfriend, and I told my grandmother that I was a lesbian. I thought that I was, and she cried because she grew up in a time where that wasn't a thing,
Mm-hmm.
and she loved me for me though. And then my mom knew that I was a lesbian, but wanted me to tell her. She'd always be like, "Isn't he cute?" or "Do you think she's pretty?" Because she knew at a very very young age that I was into women.
Right. Right.
Yeah,
And did you tell? So you were how old?
about 14 or 15.
14 or
Yeah, I was
15.
scared. And then I had a
And
cover up boyfriend in high school because I didn't tell anyone in my school, just my mom and my dad. And I had a cover up boyfriend because I didn't want to get bullied and beat down. Because young Kelsi was very sensitive and very very not wanting to be here for not being loved enough and not being wanted. So I had a boyfriend, but he wasn't like we didn't like do anything. Like we didn't do like the whole or like kiss or anything. It was more of just like, this is my boyfriend, but like, don't touch me. You can give me flowers, but like, I don't want them,
right.
to make my life easier. But yeah,
So when you were you, because I think I saw when you were said you were like 6'5" when you were
hmm
12, right?
yeah, I was tall.
Were you bullied? Were
Yes,
you made fun of as a kid
yes, yep. Bully, not even within the outside world, but within close quarters.
within family?
Yeah. So it was very difficult being the outcast in different ways. So at a young age, I was I got tall, and you grew up in a very small town. It's normal. Bullying is just how they show love.
Mhm.
So I do this because I'm like you're full of shit, but um, yeah, yeah, it wasn't too fun. So like even now, I still get sensitive sometimes, but social media has definitely opened my mind to it because now instead of people staring at me for looking different, they stare at me because I'm big sexy. They recognize me for social media. But before social media, I couldn't walk anywhere without someone staring at me, making fun of me, making fun of the fact that I look like a man or I was big my unhealed child self didn't really like it too much.
And you and I'm getting back to where you are now.
Yeah.
you said you left home at 17. What
Yes.
was your like from there?
At 17, I left and lived with my biological father, who was not really a good human being. And I met a girl online and left that home. I was there for a month maybe, and left that home and moved into Arizona with a girl I met online for the first time. This is back when AOL chats were really like, or Yahoo chats were like really a thing, and webcam, and we didn't have the tools that we have now, like the Venus app or, other dating websites. It was very hard to be a lesbian, and you could probably understand.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah. So I met someone online and I moved and packed up my stuff at 18 to go to Arizona and to live with a stranger. And then I came back to here and hit a couple other bumps in the road. And one of the girls I dated, I was so sheltered from life and didn't realize really what was out in the world, because my life at home was very leave it to beaver. It was very bubbled. And I went and met a girl and didn't realize her past. And I wanted to love everyone. And one bad relationship led me to trying substance one time. And then that one time turned into 5 years of hell for me. And I can't say that on here, but it was a very bad drug.
Mhm.
And I have what, 13, 14 years clean from that now. But that's my
You
that's my life of.
and me, baby. We
Yeah.
had that earlier. I'm 13 and a half
Yeah,
years. Sober
congratulations.
sexy, sober sexy.
That's right.
That's right, baby. Congrats.
So yeah, congratulations to you too. So it wasn't rainbow, like everything that you see on social or on TV of like people that lived a certain life and like
Yeah.
broken down homes and abandoned properties, no electricity, no running water. Like those movies of that life is a life that I lived, because I was homeless. I didn't have a job. I got sucked in by a bad relationship that I should have known more. I should have had my eyes open, but I was so sheltered and naive because I didn't have technology and different things to help me understand the outside world, because I'm always up in the clouds. I see the good in everybody. So, but I am fortunate that that happened to me, because it opened my eyes and it allowed me to see that we all struggle and we all have things going wrong. And that's why I am the way that I am today, because of those bad that happened to me.
That's where I was coming back to. So through this, who was there someone who was your rock growing up, and was there anyone in your life who like was your heart, who was your rock?
Growing up, um, it was I was very, very different, and I loved everyone. But I how do I want to word it? I didn't have a rock until the last 14 years. So everyone in my life at that time, when I did choose bad, because it was a choice, they all left me, and no one helped me, and that no one. Um, I had to hit rock bottom, and in my younger years, I didn't have anyone to protect me. And fear of consequences that would come along with the protection is what I'll go ahead and say. Um, so no, I didn't have a rock or protection, and I didn't have a rock or protection in my younger years. I have been doing this alone for quite some time.
Mm.
Now I have rocks, and now I've built rocks. Like my mom became my rock whenever I got clean, and was my biggest supporter in the last 13 years of my life. And then since then, I actually wrote books. Not, I didn't write. I wrote chapters in books for a therapist to help children understand the life that I went through. And my chapter is about turning a negative into a positive, and how I was bullied by family members and bullied by people in my life, and um, how it made me feel unwanted and unloved. And when that book got published, my goal was to help people or children see that it's not just them. And I don't know, 3, 4 years ago, I then became completely transparent of my life and all of the bad to even my mother. She had no idea, because
Yeah.
I didn't want anything that happened in my life to taint her. So then we had to sit down, and I went down from childhood and up. everything that happened to me. And there's a lot of tears and a lot of, well, why didn't you? And, so then she became more of a rock to me.
That journey with your mom's illness.
Yeah.
How was that? That I, um, I saw a picture of you just posted. It was like when you were coming out. I wasn't following you during that time.
Yeah.
Did you close down? What was that? What was that time for you?
So I had taken care of her for 2.5 years. And then the last year was the hardest. So on social media, people only get to see bits and pieces, but behind closed doors, I was depressed. I was having many mental breakdowns constantly without realizing what it was that I was going through, because I have never experienced that. And then the remainder of, I would say, since she passed away a year ago in April. So then that Christmas is when I started watching everything like decline and like without saying anything. And then she then passed in April. So from December to April was the worst 4 months of my life. And now being in recovery, I did not want to be on any pharmaceuticals, and I did not want to be on any type of anything that would alter me. I did fall into cannabis at one point. Um, and it completely numbed me. And I was just riding the waves. And then I met my fiance last year, and she explained me as being Robin Williams. I put a smiling face on for the camera and everyone around me, because that's what I was conditioned to do at a young age, was to make everyone around me happy. Because if I didn't, there'd be consequences, or, there'd be mean demeanor. So I was taught to be a Robin Williams at a very young age. And that's how it was when she met me. So I had no idea who I was. I had no idea. I had lost every ounce of who Kelsi was. And this last year, I am slowly finding out the ins and outs of me, like what makes me tick and who I need to become for me.
Um, that's incredible, and
Yeah.
all of this. So people, I love the Robin Williams
Yeah.
comparison. Right? Is that people don't know
They have
what's
no
behind.
idea.
They don't know what's behind. I mean, because I can see you being the strongest of the person, and being able to put on, for a moment on social media, that
Yeah.
happy, meanwhile nobody knows
No.
that.
I had millions of people watching my every move, and they want updates, and I'd come on and smile and everything's fine. But behind closed doors, it was terrible. Like to watch someone that you love wither away. And she went through every step of death, and I'm her only child. And it was just me and her the last couple of years. So like to watch the strongest, hold on, to watch the strongest person that um, lose every ounce of who they are is terrible. I'm not going to cry. You are.
Listen, Kelsi. I mean, I don't. My mother passed away. You and I told you that 3 years ago, and it's like the club you never ever want to belong to.
Yeah.
Yeah, the club you never want to belong to.
Yes.
And it's a pain that you can't. It's like you won't know it until you're there. It's
Yes,
indescribable.
it really
It's
is.
indescribable.
And I wasn't expecting to be a nurse. Like I would administer medicine and be like, I'm doing your medicine today because I was in recovery. She would always be very like, like you, and I'd be like, I'm giving your medicine today. I was every hour. I was around every hour with her, being that hospice nurse for her, well, alongside like my aunt and my dad as well. So it was, but
You,
honestly, that opened my eyes.
you bore the weight of, yeah, that kind of weight. That's intense,
Yeah.
Kelsi.
So like the photo that you saw of me in California, my mom had just passed away, and I had a modeling event. No, I'm sorry, I had an award ceremony that I had to do. And my mom passed in April, and a week after she passed, I already made a prior commitment to these people a year ago that I would go and show up. And as I'm doing my mom's funeral arrangements with my dad, I'm like, I can't. He's like, you have to. I'm like, I can't go. He's like, you have to go. So I ended up going, and I was so disassociated with life, and I was just smiling and socializing, but like inside she had cancer. I didn't want to be here. And then after that, it was like one thing after another of like all of these things were opening up for me, of like a modeling event for the LGBTQIA event in Hollywood, California, that I never thought I'd be in. And then there was something else, and it was like I went to my first gay pride in California. And the photo that you saw was the first time that I was able to breathe authentically for me in almost 2.5 years. Like I felt the weight of everything just lifting off.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. And through this, you even through that and being the Robin Williams, and again, that's a great comparison because Robin Williams carried a lot of people with
Yes.
his right with his light. You know, you through your own pain, you still carried
Yes.
people. You know, and I think the gift that you give now is that all that you've been through is you've taken all of that, and it is your authenticity. It is your
Yeah.
rawness. It is the unfiltered. Did you? Was there a point at which, and I'm wondering after that 2.5 years, there's sort of a, for me, it was maybe because I also am like turning 58 in a couple of weeks, so I'm old. But it was also after my mother passed. I mean, my father died when I was 20, so it was at that point I came out of the closet.
Yeah.
Right. So the first death brought me out of the closet. The second death was, I don't give a fuck what anyone thinks of me. Was there a break for you that was like, I'm just, this is it. I'm going to be whoever I want. Bring
Yes.
it.
Yep. That's exactly what happened. So when that happened, when that pivotal moment happened, I was always hesitant on everything. Like I was so, when I went to California and I felt that I could breathe, I chased it. And I lost a lot of people, and I lost a lot of relationships, and a lot of friends and family. They didn't realize who I was, and they wanted the old Kelsi back. And because none of them knew me. None of them knew who I was because I gave them a facade of this smiling, bubbly personality. Um, because that's what I needed to do, I guess, to protect myself during that 2.5 years. And that's not who I am anymore. So, like, no, I will not allow anyone to treat me like crap. And no, I won't allow, and I want positive. I don't want this. I'm setting boundaries for the first time in my life because of that death, because I need to do what is best for me. Because watching her die, I asked her in that time, is there anything that you wish you could have done differently? And mind you, she was, when I say every step, it was like the delirium. It was a confusion. She didn't know that I was her kid at that point. She was only 55. And before that happened, she looked at me and she said, I would have ate the fucking cheesecake. And I said, you, because she was I grew up very holistic, very organic and natural. And I said, you would have ate the cheesecake. And she said, I would have ate the fucking cheesecake. She was like, you do what makes you happy. And like, I took that and I was like, I'm eating the cheesecake. So now I'm setting healthy boundaries for myself, and I will not tolerate anyone that's making fun of me or bullying me or using it as a form of I love you anymore. It's I'm doing what's best for me, no matter what that may be. And if you do not agree with it, go eat your cheesecake by yourself. Okay? Because I can't. Yeah.
Oh man.
Yes.
I mean, this is it, Kelsi. People need to follow
Yes.
that because that is a relief in this
Eat the
world.
cheesecake.
It's eat the cheesecake,
Yes.
but follow your inspiration,
Correct.
right? That is inspiration.
Don't allow
You
anyone or
don't
anything
get,
to hold you
and I
back.
don't know that, and because everyone has a story.
Everyone.
Everybody goes through something, right? And I think, and again, I think that's what makes you so attractive on all of these, and why you've got all these people, because again, you're willing to share it openly and honestly and
You
authentically,
have to.
but not
It makes you relatable.
right, but not everybody does, and you do it
No.
really brave.
Well,
It's really
too many people get stuck in these parasocial relationships with other people online, and then it allows these creators to get that attention to their head. And I fell victim of this 3 years ago. I allowed social media to get to my head and make me think that I was not better, but like I was cooler because I was on social media. And when I went through that moment, I would watch my mom and I'm like, we all we are all the same. Followers mean nothing. Your growth of your account means nothing. It's who you are as a person at the end of the day, like who you're sitting at the table with, not your phones, not your followers. So like then that was like a changing point for me, that I was like, I will never, like the following thing. Like I will always say yes to opportunities. And like if someone comes up to me, I don't care what, let's take the picture. Do you want me to call your Aunt Barbara Sue because she loves me? Let's call her right now. Like and thank God my partner's the same way now, because those moments, I want people to realize that just because we're content creators, we all bleed the same. We all have the same emotions, and we all experience loss, and we all have childhood traumas and PTSDs, and we've all gone through things that shapes or molds us into who we want to become or who we strive to, whatever the case is. So I want people to experience that. That's why I did lives like this, to help people see that you're not alone. But people can get mean online. So that's why I haven't really gone live in the last year, because
Yeah.
I'm choosing my peace for once.
Right.
I
Right.
gave enough to my life on going live all the time, and every ounce of me. And the last year has been for me and what I need to do for my mental health and to be who I need to be for the future.
Well, the fact that you've gone live for our
Just for you,
viewers,
Catherine.
but you did
Just
it
for
for
you.
me.
Yeah,
I know you did.
I
You
did.
did it, and you did it for our Venus launch, our
Yeah.
Venus
We
community.
need to talk
Um,
about that too, because your app, we didn't have an app like this growing up, and to have a platform such as Venus to allow other people that are too afraid or not understanding that there's so much more life within our community out there, because I'm guilty of that. We didn't have pride parades or pride anything. Like you couldn't do that. And to go to I went to WeHo Pride, and to see everyone be their authentic self was the most beautiful thing ever. And that was my first time. And to have an app where people can collectively come together with chats and like where to go, whatever the case is, it's you guys are doing a good thing.
thank you, thank
You're
you.
welcome.
It's a community app. It's our first. We realized um, more than ever right now, we need
Yes.
community. There's power in bringing our lesbian, bisexual, and queer women together. There's, in community based on interests. It's not a dating app, it's a
Yeah.
community app. We're trying to bring together because, again, when I grew up, there was literally nothing, 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 nothing. And we
Yeah.
didn't have the internet.
Yeah.
So, so, you know, um, so I cannot thank you enough, Kelsi, for just doing this tonight. I don't know how to answer. I was going to do some question answers, but I mean, have people ask questions, but I don't even know how to do that.
If you guys want to ask anything before we leave, now forever hold your peace. If you
now
want
would
to
be the
ask,
time, but
we'll answer a couple questions.
because I can't think of a more phenomenal person. I really, Kelsi, you and I are going to keep talking.
Let's do it.
Wait, first of all, I have to ask you. So wait, so Joe, so you pulled a lesbian. You met her when? And you tell me that story again.
I met her. She brought me in as a friend to help me out because I was so dark. And what this was not supposed to happen at all, like whatsoever. And realized that there was much more in us. And we met, lived in a van. 3 months later, I asked her to be my fiance. Um, and then we had an apartment. Didn't work out in that area. It was too small minded for me. And then we got for like a home. I'm not going to say where, but got a home. And now we're starting our life within a year. Hopefully, planning you know what I mean, a wedding here soon. Do you still attend recovery meetings? I personally did not. When I got clean, it was on Valentine's Day. I did it by myself on a green leather couch. It was a sectional, actually. I remember every ounce of it. I didn't do it with any programs because I was done. I didn't have that. Mine was a choice. I don't have any. any desire. It was if you need the recovery and the recovery works for you, I highly recommend that. And if you know someone that can't get through recovery, I would suggest having them go because there's
I
other people that they can speak with.
yeah, I do a recovery
Yeah, but me
program.
personally,
19.5 years later,
yeah,
I still go.
me
Yeah, works.
personally, I never did that. But it's all choice. It's whatever works well for you in your recovery.
Yeah, yeah, but whatever
Yeah.
works.
Namaste. My stupid boyfriend called it missed alive. It's okay. How did I meet you? I met her through social media, but we never connected. Um, what was your addiction? It started with an H. I'll say that, and ended with an N. I tried it one time. Tried it one
One
time,
time.
and one time turned into the weekend because that is the most addictive substance.
Yeah,
I didn't realize it because I was so
I was
sheltered.
telling Kelsi earlier that I did a documentary on the H ending with N, and it's the most addictive substance. You try it once, you get
Yep.
hooked immediately.
Yeah, it was terrible.
Oh,
I can't say it ruined my life because it opened my eyes to the world to see just how damaged we all are and how we're all looking for escapes. All of us are looking for ways to numb our life and our feelings
mine,
and thoughts.
mine was
Yeah.
one. There's, to me, there's no difference.
Yeah.
It's shuts you down, changes your life. You know.
There's so many things that gambling, food addictions, like
Yeah.
there's so many addictive properties that or addictive things that we do to
Yeah.
substitute. What's up, Barber? I thought once and didn't work that way. I know it happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not saying we're because people are not crazy, but they can't be crazy. I won't share a location, but I am from Pennsylvania.
She is from Pennsylvania.
I am from Pennsylvania.
Kelsi,
Yes.
we can up. You gotta eat. You're on vacation. Are you on vacation?
Yeah, we have a trip planned tomorrow morning to go. I was
Oh,
actually reeling
oh,
you
tomorrow.
in, not the fish.
Yeah, I know
Yeah.
you're not trying to reel me in.
Yeah.
I know that. I know that. Is Joe standing like right behind you? Is she
Yeah,
like?
I'll get her. You can say hi. Let's see if she can
Yeah.
hear. Maybe not.
Okay. Tell her I will not be offended. I mean, this did actually start half hour late on your channel and not ours, so it's not okay.
Okay, we had this fancy little buzzer on our thing, and I can't get it to work.
Yeah.
What's wrong? She's supposed to say hi. So, Joe, this is Catherine. Hi.
Well, hi, Joe. You
Nice to meet you.
are one popular person on Kelsey's channel too. Congratulations on the the getting married part.
Well, thank you.
That's amazing. And I was just telling your fiance how just unbelievably impressed. I'm just blown away by her. I'm blown away by you too.
Yeah, she's pretty cool. I
You
will
just
say
you
she
just
can
jumped
only
on in.
say that.
You just jumped on in, Joe. You just apparently like got into her life and you just jumped. The next thing you know, you jumped on in.
Yeah, well, to be fair, I didn't really watch her stuff before I jumped in. So, like, I didn't really realize the level of jumping in until I was already, like, in. And I'm like, oh, gosh, what did I sign up
It's a
for?
lot. I have a lot of personality.
Yeah, so. But no, it's not that bad.
Can I be your flower girl?
It's pretty good. Well, we have kept you late. We want to thank you, Joe, for allowing us to take Kelsi for so long tonight.
Have her longer. You want me to leave? You can have her longer. It's the only
Really?
break I get. No, I'm just kidding.
Wow. Okay, we're gonna keep her on.
Isn't she sweet?
Yeah. Tomorrow you're going on a fishing trip. I'm excited for you.
I'm so excited.
Yeah, that's fantastic. I hope you catch big things. And
You're
then maybe
you're the best catch I've caught.
wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Was that good?
She's talking to me, not you. I'm just clear.
No, I was talking to Catherine.
Wow. No, Joe, she was talking to me. I know.
She said that on the last fishing trip to the person, and
It was a guy.
I was confused because he came up to me. He's like, "I hear you're the biggest catch," and I was like, "Yeah, I guess she caught something." And I was like, Oh wait, he's talking about me. She had to explain it to me. I didn't even get it. Like,
Oh,
Yeah.
right
and
over the head.
the line you, so I shouldn't. I'm not going to take that and as a
You
compliment.
should.
No, I'm not going to. No,
Oh.
apparently,
Use it on me.
no. It's with everybody. Yeah. Okay. I know how this works. Yeah. Well, Kelsi, you are, I said this on the advertisement, you are one of the most authentic, raw, unfiltered, wonderful, brilliant voices out there. And
Thank you.
of course, you have so many followers. And we, Joe and Kelsi, we are so thrilled that you are helping our Venus community launch today. It went live. Welcome to Venus.com. Everybody who's watching, you can go to welcome to Venus.com. That's the best way to sign up. The app is live in the app stores, Venus community. But then you give a little money to Apple. So go to welcome to Venus.com. Sign up for a little bit of lesbian, bisexual, and queer community. And
We're already signed up and ready to experience it.
really?
Yeah. Yes. It's on my phone right now.
I love
Yep.
that.
I'm okay. Just because I'm like we still struggle with finding places that are like communities. You know, we're from small towns, so like this app is going to be
Game changing.
yeah.
I mean, that means a lot. You guys are going to make me cry.
Yeah, you should.
Well, I adore you both, and I thank you.
You're very welcome.
And we will be in touch. Kelsi, I was going to be much more laughy, but I think it was, I loved our conversation tonight.
It's very good.
Yeah. No, your journey is inspiring. You are inspiring.
Thank you. I look forward to speaking with you some more.
Yeah, me too. All right. Thanks, you
Okay.
guys.
Hey, real quick, do you know how to end this live?
Are you joking? I would give you the finger, but that would probably be inappropriate.
Just joking. I'm just joking. Okay. All right. We'll talk soon. You know. Okay. We're just. Okay. Okay. You gonna end it, or do you want me to end it, or just?